no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. Must seek another means to access lower levels. It's likely that people in this area are involved with the restructuring in one way or another. We were able to ingrain ourselves. They might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let's ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Boom, boom. Am I taking the lift? No, we're just students. Anyone will listen to the arcane, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere. But it was wandering around Tranquility, so thought we'd donate to the vaults. Squeal. Honest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose you'll have to take care of it until the arcane is open again. Where? Oh. Same, dude. Same. Is that? Take you down the lift with me. Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day. And only now have I found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleamer fellow heading out the gate there, though. Children get a large package, engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever he's doing. I'm gonna go find him. Oh, holy shit. Good lord. That's an Aaron Valiant. Right, let's frighten it away. Ah, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloud I need to capture is very close. Very close. You just tell me with this too? Spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 2 hunters are generally better than one. Very well. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds. But the one I'm after today is a hornbill. Its feathers are green, and its cry is a distinctive caw. So you can let out and shoot it with this sleeping dart. Somebody shot me with a sleeping dart, dude. Extra short-lived, so I'll lie down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Nope. Nope. Oh my god. Your cow. Oh, that was the wrong one. Oops. It said he had green feathers, man. No, it says coo. You? Oh, you. Oh. Oh my god. He said caw. Okay. Well, he wasn't green. That was the other large guy. Okay, we'll get him one of these days. See, every one of these motherfucking birds, dude. Oh. 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 Magic. Got him. Got him. Yeah.
A fair shot.
Oh, Pog.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
There you are. Any new revelations?
Womp 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 womp.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers hand-picked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will, of course, follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
Cock blocked again.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
You're quite welcome, but consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Okay. Sick. I thought they were just gonna be like, well, fuck it, because I'm going back to the surface, and that would be the end of it, but no. I'm gonna go even deeper. To the mine shaft. Supposed to be the entrance to the mine shaft. It says faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by the researchers, you think? Well, slaving beasts aside, we will need to watch our footing. Should we tighten our straps and such before we continue? When everyone's tightened their straps and check their gear, I say we head on in. In the train ahead, though, might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes out to a fight. Take it slow. We can check your surroundings from time to time. Meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. As they all go in together. Hope there's no enemies here. Oh no. Ba-da. But longest survey ever. Is there a thingy in here? Yes, there is. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least. And as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the Renewal Circle. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. If Aaronville's assumption holds true, that specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path nearest the farming facility, see what we see. Ah, not aware. Oh my god. Labyrinth is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. It is a facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of the research could feed the Labyrinthius colleagues, or so I hear. More notable success might make it to their agora. Food so exotic you'd be hard pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of neutral benefits scribbled on a card. I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share the same sense of urgency. It's possible they know something Foreign's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? Oh yes, time to catch some more rats in the garden. See if we can cook from the workers. The rest of us will do the same, or a cast about for some useful clues. Jabkey. Hello there. Weren't expecting visitors. Not with the use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? Magic. Mine shaft, you say? No. You're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such nasty with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the forum has us filling order lists a mile long. Massive yet detailed requests, little wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of the grand organization, I assumed that we were shuffling around old stock to make room for new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we were already thoroughly researched. Nothing strange, huh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. TLDR. Oh. Hello. Do I have to be taken down below? Boy, that I can carry. And then some. Most of our stock is sent off via cargo lift, but some has been marked for aerial transport. Hence the stack of crates atop the hill over there. God's hauling the lot up the slope was a job and a half. The TLDR shit was heavy. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one's a variety of grape. Only need a good source of sunlight to grow. The conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Probably surprising, given that it's native to a particular local in the very place upon which Labyrinth was modeled, the region in the south of Ilzabard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for myriad of flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, which in turn transition into hot, humid coastline. This manifold territory is ever congested, as you might expect. It used to be called Corvus before the Imperials named it to Locus Aminius. Hey, that's where our boy's from. No forum saw it as a prize, however, but as it researches ideal environment, one whose climate we strove to recreate in the confines of Labyrinthius, it since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments in cultivation. Labels on these crates tell a story of the contents, bundles of common seeds and saplings, accompanied by sheaves of reports. Sheaves? Who says sheaves? I've never seen sheaves used ever.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
Maybe.
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heartblooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
The hell does that mean? Like a mood ring? For a flower?
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change colour, bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Charlian at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect. And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin. To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
We voice acted that, but not the other shit? Okay.
Have you learned aught of interest?
Kid, yo,
A
these
flower
flowers are
that
wet.
reacts to one's feelings. Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we fail to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough activity to support Erenville's supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly. Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right. He did say he was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member, or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
Ours alone to bear. We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice. If you're not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Damn.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
It might be best if you came along as well. In fact, we should all...